good. That's all good. Right guys, hopefully someone's going to join us. This is probably one of the best broadcasts I've actually ever done, but everything happens first time out the bag. These are teething problems. Yes, turn on the camera, thank you very much. Right, so if anyone is watching, Traction Dave in qualifying is currently set the quickest time of 1:24.399. That is pretty rapid from Traction. Krazeez is currently second, Freeman third. Then we've got MichaelRaces, who is, remember, the reigning not Taco Tuesday champion. He's the reigning FRL champion. Obviously, you remember he won the Race of Champions last Monday at Suzuka, which was an amazing race. Still only me in at the moment, so I don't know if anyone can hear me or not. Can anyone hear me? That would be great if you could. I mean, we can hear the game sound. Can anyone hear me? That would be great if you could. Oh, we can. I mean, we can hear the game sound. Right, so, different kettle of fish. It's time to go to work. I don't know how long we've got left in qualifying, actually, because I'm covering up the timing screen. But anyway, I think we've probably got about 8 minutes left. I was saying at the top of the show, obviously, you know, FRL, we've just had this update. Obviously, that split the pack in terms of PS4 and PS5. And, yeah, so this is our first venture out this evening. We've got 26 people on the grid this evening, but it does come at a price, I have to say. We've got some great drivers in here. We'll quickly run through those shortly once we go on board with someone. Whilst we're doing that, let's have a look at Freeman. Let's have a look at Freeman in his Merc. Yeah, so with the update, there's some pretty big bugs in there. We all know that. I think we're all feeling some frustration over on the PS5 side of things, and one of the main things is to do with the comms. Now, you'll know if you've watched any of my live streams in the past, I do like to do multiple camera angles so we can sort of build up what's happening during those battles and get the key moves and all those bits that happen. But with this update at the moment, when I'm coming into the comm screen, yes, I can change between cars, as you can see. That's great. It's Kino's in the pits. But what I can't do, I can't go up here and press drive, which gives me the access to changing all the camera angles so that we can get an amazing race. When I press drive, which I'm not going to do now, it puts me in my Ferrari in the pit lane, and then turns me into a driver. And I did have someone else in here earlier on today with me. Evolton came in and tested, and he had exactly the same issues. So evidently a bug within the game that needs to be patched sooner rather than later, please, because yeah, I mean, this is my livelihood. That's all I do. Right, gamer's in, he can hear me. Okay, and yeah, I don't know what it is. I mean, you can see I don't have my headset on anymore, so maybe it was to do with the fact that the PS5 isn't compatible with that headset that I had. That might be what it is, which means you guys have all got to go on buymeacoffee.com/comms by Coops and buy me a coffee for a couple of quid so I can get a decent headset. Otherwise we're never going to get any good comms anymore. But yeah, there we go. So right, let's get to work. So we have 26 people in this evening. There is evidently, if there was a featured driver, that didn't happen because obviously no one could hear me for about 25 minutes. So I was actually talking to Lewis Hamilton, and he was telling me how great my commentary was and how he really wished he could drive as fast as you guys, but I told him, you know, stick to those little go-karts. So that's what he's going to do. So a quick run through. Let's have a look at who we've got in this evening. Okay. Oh, everyone's saying hello. That's great. Thank you, everyone. Right, PS5 check-in. So I did say we had 26 drivers this evening. Let's go on board with Michael in the Ferrari. I haven't really seen Michael drive a Ferrari before, so that's going to be interesting. Michael's got a brand new rig, so he's obviously very excited about that, and he's having to relearn all his muscle memory from his deck chair that he had previously. So it's obviously really affected him being up there in provisional pole. So tonight we've got And what's fantastic about this is now I get to commentate on chaps which I haven't commentated on before because of the old tier system. So we've got MichaelRaces, obviously we know Traction Dave's best buddy, they're 1 and 2, they're making a habit of that actually in qualifying at the moment. Freeman 82, haven't had the pleasure of commentating on Freeman, he is in the Merc. Krazeez, we all know Krazeez. Pony Feeder is Keno DJ's teammate, so those two are in there. Marty Road Racing in the Mercedes. GTJ, we know Bruges, we know Hutch, he needs to be 7th. If you don't catch that joke, you'll have to go back and watch some of the other GT Sunday streams. Superkart Ray, haven't commentated on him before, looking forward to seeing how he drives. Lordish Wilson 88, again, not had the pleasure as yet. Want One Ferrari's in, Reedy's in, Fearless Freak. Iceman Sean UK actually joined up today on Facebook, messaged me on Facebook, and yeah, he's got involved straight away, so good luck to him. SJ Disco in the Mercedes, and then we've got Rob 2K, Smalley, Howler, some good names in here, guys. Lamaro 83, obviously Lamaro's been with us for a while. Cascanova, one of our admin gurus who gets involved with a lot of the setup work, so he's a great guy. I'm looking forward to talking about him. Yvolton, he'll be spinning in the Porsche, but he's a diamond. King of the Hills, again, another great guy within FRL, and Zuba, I think, is also his first outing. So there's 25. We're waiting on one more. We'll see what happens with that. Let's just pop over there. Gamer thought he'd come and annoy me as he's sitting at work. Yeah, well, that's fine, mate. I do the same to you whenever you're driving, so bring it. I don't mind. But yes, the Ferrari is OP around here. It is, just not in my hands. Okay, so this race this evening is our pre-season sort of shakedown. Yeah, there's nothing really on this. This is for the newer guys that have come to join us to get a feel for what it's like, you know, see how our guys race, see what the quality's like, have a bit of fun, and then, as I said, there's no points, there's nothing on this one. It's a 60-minute race with a mandatory pit stop chucked in for good measure, where you must take tyres, so strategy will come into it. Well, oh dear, Michael. Right, let's have a listen to Krazeez in this new Beamer as we get to the slowest part of the track. It sounds brilliant, doesn't it? I'm going to turn it up a little bit. Very nice. Very nice. My wife's just shown me she's made a Superman out of a potato for the children for their homework. That was, if she brings it back in, I'll show you all. Which she probably won't. Oh no, hold on. And there you go, little Superman. What an artist. Anyway, back to the serious stuff, because obviously it's going really well so far this evening. Let's get back out there. Okay, so Michael and Traction going to pits, Krazeez, and then we've got Freeman. Normally what we do as well, I'm hoping that when this update sorts itself out, we normally do full lap guides. You know, we'll talk about everything that's been going on in the championship, all the different connotations, but we can't do that tonight because we haven't even got started. So what I think you guys might find very, very interesting is tomorrow evening you guys need to tune into the FRL YouTube channel, because in our podcast, which we do every Wednesday, of which Gamer Dad, you know, he's an ever present there for us, we're going to do our driver draw. So we're going to do PS4 and PS5, and we're not at the stage where we need to do tiers as yet, although there might be a slight change to that. Depends if Krazeez or Gamer has got a bit brave to put a message out in their chat. Claire loves Superman Spud. Who doesn't love Superman Spud? He's my hero. Oh no. Yes, Superman Spud, thank you. You can see what's going to happen this evening. I think my wife wants a bit part. That's fine. She's better looking, obviously. Yeah, I've obviously lost my train of thought completely there with all that going on. So yeah, the draw going on tomorrow evening. We're going to have the different tiers. So we have got certain people who are in teams because we don't want to alienate anyone. Gamer Dad, and some people are in teams who've joined specifically to race with a friend, which I get that. I did that initially, and others are then going to be drawn out of a hat. We're going to have aliens, and we're going to have humans. and we're looking to team those guys up, make it a little bit more interesting, a bit more competitive, you know, build that teamwork between everyone. But no one knows who their teammate's going to be, so everyone needs to tune in tomorrow to find out, and then they've all got to scramble to decide what car they're going to get. So all this great information was obviously going to be spoken about during free practice, but I didn't have any sound. So let's run through that. There's qualification at the moment. MichaelRaces sits on pole with a 123.3. Traction Dave, his best mate, is in second place, 7 tenths behind. Then we've got Krazeez. Freeman's in 4th. Pony Feeder 5th. GTJ in the Beamer is 6th, 1.4 behind. Kino DJ, not too far. He's a smidge. He's thousandths behind his teammate. There's a battle. Marty Road Racing, he's in 8th. Smalley's in 9th. Lord Ash Wilson, that's a really long name, I'm going to call you Lordy, in 10th. Bruges in 11th. Hutch 12th. Supercar Ray 13th. 1-1 Ferrari is currently in 14th. And then we've got Reedy, he's in the Porsche. Interesting. Reedy was IR Graham's teammate last year in the Mercedes, so he's in a totally different beast today. Interesting to see how he gets on with that. Fearless Freak in the Beamer is 16th. Iceman Sean in the Bentley, okay, 17th. SJ Disco 18th. Limaro 19th, and Rob is currently 20th. Is it going to let me see the rest of the standings? Yeah, it will do. Okay, Rob 2K is 20th. Howler in the Beamer is in 21st. Cascanova 22nd. 3.6 seconds off the pace. Your Volton's 23rd, nearly 4 seconds off the pace. Then we've got King of the Hills, and at the back of the grid we've got Zuba in his Beamer, 10 seconds off the pace. Granted, this chap is absolutely spanking new, and I think he's only very, very recently joined us, maybe today, and he did say earlier on he'll be trundling around the back, and that's totally fine. We've got all different levels of drivers within FRL. It's just most of them are really, really fast. No, I'm joking. We do have all levels. If you put pressure on your Volton, that could work for you. Right, live chat, 1 second. He's got to do it now. Yeah, another lap record. I know, I think Michael's got some kind of cheat sheet. No, it's his new rig, isn't it? He's got all the gear now, so he's getting ready to be too fast on here that he has to go to PC. I think that's what he's aiming for. As we're waiting now for the guys just for the qualifying session to completely finish. I'll probably sit here for half an hour, my sound will die, and then we could get on the grid formation lap. So we do have a 1 hour race. Mandatory pit stop. We currently have an Opti track, which is great. 29 degrees ambient and 36. Ooh, that's warm. That is warm. That's going to hurt those tyres for sure. So, again, as I said before, I can't change my camera angle. If anyone's watching this thinking, why is this person just sat watching from the cockpit? As I say, it's because of the update, and I can't do that. But I will, obviously, just... Cheers everyone with my coffee delivery device. Thanks. Yeah, my wife said, have I not had any pants made, FRL pants yet? And I was like, no, they don't do them apparently. So yeah, that was interesting. And obviously we have to say good evening and welcome to my ever-present friend that sits here and listens to me all the time during comms. It is, of course, Mike. Mike's going to be with us all season. Yeah, he'll never interrupt the stream, so we don't need to worry about that. So we've got 2 minutes left before the formation lap gets underway. I'm not sure if they're going to go with guided or unguided this evening. We'll have to have a look at that, because some people like unguided, and others, maybe if they're not 100% sure on how that works, they don't generally do too well. They just fly off in the distance. Then everyone's got to scramble to catch up, and it gets a bit messy. So with this being the pre-season sort of shakedown, I'm assuming it's probably going to be guided, but we'll find out in a moment. Yeah, Traction's got time to get in the chat. Of course he has. Traction versus Michael. Friendship on the line here, guys. It really is. So, what have we got upcoming this season? That's probably what you guys are going to want to know. You know, when they get this update sorted out, you will all get tons of airtime from me. Anyone can attest to that. If you look back on the previous streams, do so. you know, if you like what's going on over here on the channel, what I'm trying to do, obviously just give it a like. That would be fantastic. I don't need you to subscribe, can if you want, but just like it. Yeah, we're all going to be sat here for a while, so we might as well enjoy ourselves. Yeah, and we've got an 8-season calendar. I'll tell you actually what they are. Let's have a look. Okay, so next week we start at Donington. Come over here, Mike. Come on, it's easier. Right, Donington, and then we're at Mazzano. After Mazzano, we're going to go to Laguna, and then Imola for a 90-minute special, which was going to be, well, we know that's going to be good. Then we're going to go to Nerbs. Everyone loves the Nerbs, and then over to Kailami. Spa will be round 7. Cannot wait for that. And the last is going to be another 90-minute special, which will be at a really easy track, which never causes anyone any problems. Bathurst, or Mount Panama, whatever it's called. So, you see what the game... Oh, you can't see it. Oh, who's just ported to the pits? Who was that? Gamer Dad inspired me. Georgie can hear me now. Yeah, thanks, Georgie. I've figured out what it is. Playing with all the settings and everything, I just believe it is the fact that the PS5 doesn't want to work with the PS4 licensed headset. So obviously we've got somebody in the pits here. Let's try and let's go on, Michael. Let's go on board with traction. Actually, I've got to remember not to press drive, otherwise I'm going to be in the grid. And then what a great idea. This might be a double. This might end up being a double stream. Yeah, it might be me commentating whilst driving by accident. That might happen. So again, you can see the frustration that is going to happen here. Yeah, this is all we've got, ladies and gents. Yeah, Keno's in the pits. He didn't press drive then, did he? Obviously not. And that's all we've got is that view. So, you know, I'm going to do my best. We're going to let the first few corners get out of the way so the timing screen sorts itself out, and then once it's done that, I will obviously crack on and deliver some action for you guys. So remember, normally on the PS4 we had a maximum of 20 on the grid. You can have a maximum of 30 at the moment. We've got 25 in tonight. We had 26 registered, but obviously one can't make it. For whatever reason. We do have an absolutely full grid for the season. We've got 30 confirmed with reserves on the wait list, and we've also got other people who have requested a part-time role as well. So as this keeps growing, we will obviously look to introduce tiers as we do all the time, and yeah, everyone can feel their boots ready. So we're on board with traction. I'm going to try and turn that up a little bit more. There we go. That's better. I hear a little bit more of the engines there. Right, so they all form up. You can see, well, you can see in the little rear view mirror there that everyone's forming up behind. So let's go on board with Krazeez. Let's see if Traction and Michael stay friends into Paddock Hill Bend and Druids and Graham Hill Bend. Okay, as they come around, so everyone's waiting now. They're just keeping an eye on the marks, keeping an eye on the green lights. They're waiting for them to come on. So here we go. This is the first full, well, 25 driver grid within Formula Racing League on the PS5, and they're off. And there we go. So Krazeez has got a pretty good start there. Traction goes just behind Michael as they go into Paddock Hill Bend. Everyone's behaving themselves. Let's get up on Traction. Let's see if he can get deep on those brakes. No, they're all safe. Let's go back. Oh, look at that. Okay, so Krazeez, yeah, up and just taking a place up on field. Krazeez gets all tail happy out of there on the way down to Graham Hill Bend. That was, I thought he was going to lose the back end of that for a moment. As you can see, Traction and Michael are off in the front. And obviously now, if you look on the left, the computer screen's having a brain freeze, so we will let it sort itself out as we stay on this battle. Krazeez is not happy with the back end on that Beamer at all at the moment. Okay, so we're on board with Freeman. He's in fourth. He's got a good run down Pilgrim's Drop here. He's going to try and put some pressure on that Beamer. The murky strong round here. Nice and early on the power. Okay. As we come up to Sheen, go on, throw it in. Dab of the brakes. That looked like quite a long dab of the brakes by Krazeez actually. No, they're all good. So, tyre pressures are obviously a bit different on the PS5 to the PS4. They take a little bit longer to come up, you know, to get in that window. We're probably seeing that at the moment. So Michael up front has got a nearly 4/10 gap back to traction. Then we've got Krazeez, who's currently in 3rd place. So we're on board with Freeman. Then we've got Pony Feeder, who's doing really well there in 5th place. He's holding his own there. And then GTJ in 6th place in the Beamer. Again, if you're just joining me, I don't have a penchant for sitting in people's cars. There is a massive bug at the moment on the PS5, which means I can't change this view. So I'm going to do my best. Okay. Bruges is currently in 8th. He's keeping a watching brief on Smalley. Smalley's gone for FRL colours-ish on that Bentley. I like that. That's good work. And then Marty Road Racing is behind them. You can see, I think Smalley's going to try and make a move on GTJ there. It looked like that could happen. Okay, so Michael is down up front. He just increased that by a few thousand, so he's still 4/10. Then we've got a 2.5 second gap back to Krazeez, and then Freeman's keeping him extremely honest. We've got some dirt kicking up there. That must have been from traction, trying to put the pressure on Michael. But you can see that gap's extended by 1/10.5, which would explain the dust kicking up that we just saw. GTJ's holding 6th place nicely. Smalley, I'm impressed with him so far. I haven't seen him yet in that Bentley. He's keeping him honest. Bruges, we know Bruges is quick. He's in 8th currently. Marty Road Racing, first time I've watched him, he's up in 9th, 1.4 behind. So you've definitely got a gap developed so far between the top 8. And then if we go back to Marty, he's in 9th place. Superkart Ray's in 10th in his Ferrari. We will pay a bit more attention to these guys shortly, see how their cars are handling. Hutch is all over the back of him. Hutch is 4/10 now. Paddock Hill Bend, and you see Superkart Ray, that back end, she wanted to step on him. Probably did well to back out of that and hold her together, but that's allowed Hutch to get all over the back of him in that Bentley. You can hear the traction kicking in there. Okay, no change up the top in that top 8. Reedy is in 12th in the Porsche. I am going to spend some time on Reedy. Hutch has obviously put his car in the Ukrainian flag colours. That's a nice touch, mate. Nice bit of support of what's going on in the world these days, which is obviously sad. 1-1 Ferrari in the Ferrari. Written in the stars, that one. He's in 13th place. Rob 2K, he's in the Mercedes. He's in 14th, 2 seconds further down the road. Let's just keep an eye. No change. Krazeez has just pulled half a second in toward... No, we have had a change. Michael's had an off. Traction takes the lead of the race. So Michael's made a mistake somewhere. Krazeez is now only 2 seconds behind. So these two, it could be a great rivalry for the whole season. Best mates. You know it could. Anyway, as we keep a watch on that. So Reedy's 12th, 1-1 Ferrari's 13th. Rob 2K's 14th. SJ Disco's doing really well actually in that Merc. That looks like she's pretty colourful, although I can't see her. So if we go back to Lamaro, and he's in the Merc as well. You can't miss SJ Disco, can you? I mean, that's as bad as Bruges in his bright yellow one. Fearless Freak in the Beamer. You can see in his mirror, he's got a Beamer all over him. So let's get on board with this action. He's going to make a move into Paddock Hill Bend. Thinks he's going to back out of that. He's trying to get him to push wide. They've both got a good run out of there. I can see a dive coming up here. He's thinking about it. He's letting him know. That was close. They could have touched. King of the Hills, watching brief. King of the Hills, great driver. He's obviously just keeping an eye on his two Beamer friends as they do their battle. And then Keno's 20th at the moment in the Ferrari, and we've just had, who's that? No, that was, so Wilson went wide there, and King of the Hills has taken that place. So Keno has an opportunity here, I think, in the Ferrari. She's a good car around here, and he was doing pretty well in free practice early on when I was watching Claire. Did you hear that? I was watching him. That's not the place to make a dive, but that was a good strategic move there, just getting the nose out. So these two Beamers are in their own battle. Keno could take advantage of that. Behind Keno, okay, there's a bit of a gap there. Back to Howler. We'll have a look at him in a second. Cascanova is he in the Nissan? Wow. Gamer Dad, did you bribe him? Send it. Yeah, Gamer Dad loves getting people to send it, as he says. But yeah, he certainly did. So Keno's battling away. We're going to keep an eye on that. The other two Beamers up in front, they're looking pretty close. Let's get on board with Lordy. That's what we're going to say. As he now takes the fight to Fearless Freak. Into Paddock Hill Bend. He's got a great drive out of there. There's got to be a move coming. Yeah, without a doubt. Just pick your braking point. Hold your line. Turn him in. Squeeze her on gently. That was a good move. That was a good move. So he's done a couple of moves in the last lap, which is good to see. Nice clean racing there. Well done. King of the Hills is still keeping a watching brief there. And Keno is all over the back of King of the Hills. Come on, boys. Let's have a scrap. Who's off there? Someone's looked like they ported out there, but if that was who I think it is, that's probably your Volton. Yeah, unlucky. So your Volton's pitted and he's now spinning, so his tyres can't be right. MichaelRaces decided to pit as well from second place, so he's got that out of the way. Iceman UK is currently 23rd in his maiden voyage with us, so just keep it going, mate. All we need you to do here, you just need to finish. Yeah, every lap is important. You will get better with every lap. That's a brilliant view from Cascanova's Nissan, and that happened to me last week when I looked at the Nissan, so there's another bug that we've just found. Howler in the Beamer still in 20th. He's coming right up onto the back of King of the Hills. You can see Keno DJ's made that move on King of the Hills, so he's managed to get past him. Howler wants to see if he can take advantage. I think King of the Hills maybe has a tyre issue at the moment, because he is going backwards, and, well, it's not like him. Yeah, she doesn't look too happy. So Keno's fought his way up to 18th, starting from the pit lane, remember. I think he just forgot to press drive, or something else happened, I don't know. Up to 17th actually, someone's obviously gone into the pit. So Lordy is on a mission in his 111 Beamer. He's now right on the back of Lamaro for 15th place, and Lamaro's trying to catch that ever so dull looking Merc of SJ Disco. So those three, I feel, are going to come together pretty soon. We'll keep an eye on that. Rob 2K, again, in an equally dull Mercedes, number 75. He's currently in 13th place, and then Walk 1 Ferrari, so he's moved up a spot into 12th. That may be because of people pitting. Superkart Ray is in 11th, and he is about to get involved in a nice little scrap with Superkart Ray, so let's stick on board with that. I was going to say, that wasn't the place, Superkart Ray. That was not the place. We've got some dust being kicked up in front by Hutch by the look of it. So he's pushing. Okay, whilst we're watching this, Attraction's still out up front. Krazeez is still in second place, 2.7 seconds behind. Then Freeman finds himself on the podium, another 3.4 seconds behind Krazeez. Ponyfeeder's having a good run at the moment. He's 4 tenths behind, but I think we need to get on board with this, because GTJ is a tenth and a bit behind Ponyfeeder in that Beamer. Very different sound. Okay, so Ponyfeeder's now extending that gap, so he must have made a mistake, I feel, to allow GTJ to catch up a little bit. So Smalley, I mean, look at this. 767 Bentley, Smalley, I think it's Mike Small, I think that's the chap's name. Hasn't raced with us before, not that I've seen, and I've watched pretty much every race, and he's doing a splendid job at the moment. He's in 6th, so well done to you. Keep that up, my man. Bruges is in 7th place, spanking his Bentley all over the shop as usual. I mean, Bruce did tease us, actually. He did tease us yesterday, and he said, well, actually, it was today that he wasn't going to drive the Bentley. He loves the Bentley. I think he's married to Anne, and I thought he'd turn up at this race in something completely different, but we are still in the Bentley. We'll see if he gets the Bentley for the season when we do the car draw. Mighty Road Racing's doing really well in 8th at the moment in his Mercedes, and then Hutch, look at that, Hutch is doing well. He's in the top 10 in 9th. Remember, he needs 2 more places to get his birthright, which is 7. And then Superkart Ray and Reedy are still at it. So Superkart Ray's made that move on Reedy. We missed that as we were obviously just looking at the field. So Superkart Ray elevates himself into the top 10. Reedy, I'm sure, is going to want to battle back in the Porsche. And then Walk 1 is still 12th, just keeping an eye on them. If these two make a mistake, that's a bit wide. Very wide there from Superkart Ray. So that might have allowed Reedy to catch up a little bit more, but they seem very similarly paced at the moment. Superkart Ray's a little bit quicker, I would say. So Walk 1 Ferrari's keeping an eye on those two as they go down Cooper's Straight. My straight, thank you everyone. Rob 2K, okay, here's a close one. So Lordy and SJ Disco. And Lordy, after the race, obviously, please correct me. Tell me what you would like to be called, because I can't say Lord Ash Wilson 88 every time I look at your car. Alright, that's not going to work. But yeah, he is mounting a challenge over SJ Disco currently as they go down Pilgrim's Drop. King of the Hills, look at King of the Hills all over Lamaro as well. So, you know, all of these drivers wouldn't have driven together before, and it was like I said at the end of when we did the Race Champions, and then when we did the last Tacos or the last GT3 Sunday, I said that, you know, those specific grids won't ever line up together again. It's impossible. And we've got a brand new one now. We've got a whole new story to have a look at over the next 8 weeks, which is fantastic. And these drivers haven't all driven together because they've been in different tiers. So we've got that element of unknown at the moment. You know, who's quick, who's quicker, who's more aggressive, who's fairer, and all these bits. So we'll have to watch how that plays out over the next few weeks, obviously. Cascanova in 18th. I don't even know how he can see. Mike, how can he see? No idea. Kino's in 19th. He's trying to catch up. Kino, if you don't get past Cascanova when he can't even see, you know, something needs to be well, we need to have a chat afterwards, mate, as Cascanova gets all tail happy in that Nissan. Again, I think we've got kind of a Ukrainian livery on there. Nice touch. So Howler in the Beamer is currently running 20th. Again, this is his first outing with us. So great job so far, Howler. You're in the top 20. Iceman UK, we know this is his first run out with us. He's only joined a few hours ago, so he's closing down that Beamer in his Bentley as he's going to look to try and put a move on him. Michael, there we go. So Michael looks like he's starting to move through the field after completing his pit stop. Just wondering if him and Dave know what the strategy is, whether they've planned it or not. And Zuba there, 22nd place. You're doing well, mate. You keep going in that Beamer. Don't try and push too hard. Just try and get as many clean laps in as you can. When other drivers are around you, my friend, watch their lines. It's the quickest way to learn, and you'll be fine. Just don't try and push too hard, buddy. Alright? Fearless Freak is in 23rd place. Now, that's interesting because Fearless was a lot higher up the grid earlier on. Again, I can't see all the action as it's developing because of my limitations there, as Fearless is getting blue flagged. Who's behind him? Not sure. So, Evoltum coming up to Paddock Hill Bend in his Porsche. I really don't know how he hasn't won loads of championships yet. I mean, he does and I mean, he loves that Porsche more than a lady. So Traction is still out up front. Let's give him a little bit of airtime as he's coming to put a lap. Who's he going to put a lap on? Don't know. Into Paddock Hill Bend in that Ferrari. I think he's probably seen me doing some practice laps running on my Ferrari and thought, hey, what a great car that is. That's probably what it is. But Krazeez is still in second place, 3.7 seconds behind. So it's quite a big gap, that one, to be honest. And Freeman's holding nicely in third. So those three haven't changed. GTJ is still up there, Pony Feed is still up there, so they're all gapped nicely at the moment. Smalley is still in sixth. I'm really impressed with Smalley. I am impressed with that at the moment. Kind of reminds me of Euphoric State when we were watching previously. He had a lot of races when he was sort of top 5, 6, and the potential was definitely there to have a better result. It just didn't happen for him. But he's getting some pressure now from Bruges. So let's see if Bruges in his Bentley, how much more experience he has compared to Smalley in his Bentley. So this could be quite interesting. You saw the steering inputs there. That car, she certainly went light on him. Quick look at the chat. Rascal just wants. KT, come on, Kino. Well, Kino's got a lot of work to do. He's up to 17th at the moment, KT. He's starting from the pit lane. I don't know if there was a distraction or an issue, but he ended up starting from the pit lane, so he's done really well to battle his way up to 17th at the moment. And Graham says, how long before Traction bottles it? Well, at some point he's not going to, Graham, you know. At some point he's going to have that belief and he's going to follow through, not just after he crashes. Stop it, let's keep it clean. Oh, big Big armful of oversteer there for Smalley. So Bruges is putting that pressure on as we go through Druids down towards Graham Bend, then onto my straight, Cooper straight obviously, and again we are, I don't know how long we've got in this race at the moment, quite a while. So again, anyone who's just joined, I'm not doing this view just to be annoying. There's a bug on the game. I can't change from this view. I can only change between car until they fix the bug. Nice wiper action there, Bruges. Thanks for that. Obviously some British bugs. Or was he trying to get rid of my bug? That'd be nice of me, wouldn't it? Yeah, hopefully they'll fix that soon. Marty Road Racing. I mean, I know Bruges is putting a lot of pressure on Smalley here as they're coming up. Who's that going to be? Is that going to be Zuba? Oh, nearly. I mean, that was nearly a Bruges. He had to go the long way round, wow, and that's allowing Marty Road Racing, look at him, he's all over the back of him as they're going to Sterling's. So Bruges, from being in a position of relative strength there and being very aggressive towards Smalley, obviously we had a back marker in the way, that made people take slightly different lines, probably through the worst part of the track. You could want to come up against a back marker there, because there's only one line through there, and it's fast. That's put him back into the clutches of Marty Road Racing. So we'll see how this one develops. And then Hutch is 9th at the moment, doing really well. Superkart Ray is in 10th. So if we have a look, where else we've got a close battle there? So we know Marty and Bruges is close. We'll stick there for a moment. And then Kino, well, that's where we've got to go. Kino is all over the back of Lamaro at the moment as they come onto the Brabham straight. Now, the Mercury's strong. We know she's strong. I am a bit biased because I drive the Ferrari. She's very good, very, very handy on this track. He thought about going for a move there, so Lamaro's gone defensive. He came across, you saw him come across the track, and that allowed Kino to take his normal racing line. He's obviously hoping, he's trying hard. He's sweating, this guy. He's trying to get this chap to get offline, and just in front of them is SJ Disco in that rather colourful Merc. I don't think way you can describe it. So Lamaro gets out of shape again, down Cooper straight. I think we always like to be kind to our drivers here, don't we? We don't like to put anyone under too much pressure, and they're all doing really well. You know, everyone's got their own little bugs that are happening within the game at the moment that they're having to deal with. This is shaping up to be a really nice fight because, I mean, these two are battling, but they're catching up with SJ in front, so it does look like they're helping rather than hindering each other. So we're going to stick on this one for a little while. If I had one of the camera views, I'd go on board with Lamaro so we could see from behind and from the sides, but that's not going to happen. So that lap has obviously just completely whizzed by, and we're exactly where we were when we started that initial lap. So evenly matched. That's why we love it. Onto the Brabham straight. Now there's got to be a move coming here. So this is the second lap, he stuck his nose out there. Now, the factor we've got to think about at the moment, which is not great for Lamaro, it's going to put him under a lot of pressure here. He's defending, and Kino, he's overshot that one. He's never going to get her stopped in time, but that's not a bad thing. He didn't go off. He hasn't lost any time there to Lamaro, but what he has done by doing that is made Lamaro really think. Don't lose the back end when I'm talking about you. He's obviously making Lamaro really think now, okay, where is he strong? He's strong at Sterling's, he's strong down the Brabham straight, he's stuck his nose out a couple of times into Paddock Hill Bend, and then he's gone for a big dive in Druids. So he's going to be thinking about Kino a lot. However, he's also desperate to get by SJ Disco, because I do feel, watching this, that he's probably holding these two up at the moment. So Lamaro's in a lose-lose situation. And I think if Kino just keeps... I'm going to come off this. Right, you guys keep your other timing screens. I'm going to ball with Lamaro, because I'm going to curse him. And he'll hate me. Sorry, Claire. Sorry, Katie. Right, so MichaelRaces, he's managed to pull himself. Obviously, he's done his pit stop. That's SJ Disco in front. He's had an off. We saw... I thought we'd run out of fuel then. So we saw he was a little bit out of shape earlier on, but that's obviously allowed these two to go. Oh dear, and Kino's coming in the pits. The pit lane here is that my car? That's my car. Did you see that? You must have all seen that. That's my Ferrari sat in the pit lane, even though if we look down, I'm not in the race. That was my Ferrari. That's what I'm saying. That's what the bug is. So Kino's coming for his pit stop. That was unfortunate. It's a really, really awkward pit entry here at Brands. You could get really, really hard on the brakes, then you've got a really sort of elongated curve to the right, and then it snaps to the left again, and then there's a big wall. There's Armco fencing, as Kino just found out. Kissed. So Traction, he's still leading up front in the 77 Ferrari. He's now built a 5-second lead over Krazeez. Freeman is still third, so he's number 6.3 behind, but hey, he's still holding on to third place, so those three are doing well. GTJ is not out of the hunt for the podium there, 2.1 seconds behind. And Pony Feeder, Kino's teammate, as you all know from watching other streams of mine, he's still in 5th. Smalley is still in 6th place, so he's, again, I told you I'm impressed with this guy so far. Mighty Road Racing has been elevated, and that, I believe, is because, well, it's not because Caskanova's in the pits. So Bruges has had an issue there, because Bruges was, obviously he was trying to challenge Smalley a couple of laps ago, so he's obviously gone off track somewhere. So Marty's elevated, as is Hutch, and then we've got Bruges who's now trying to come back. So Bruges is back into 9th, and he's trying to come back through the field. Superkart Ray still in the top 10 in that 58 Ferrari, so well done Superkart Ray, that's a good outing for you so far, buddy. And then Reedy in his Porsche versus Ferrari, that sounds pretty good to me. We'll keep an eye on this one. He's not too far behind him, 6/10, and he's going to look to put some pressure on now. None of these guys are pitted yet, so down to 14th haven't pitted. Who's just jumped in? Krazeez has pulled the trigger from 2nd place, so he's decided he's going to get his stop done. It'll be interesting to see where he comes out. Again, if I had access to all my tools, I'd start timing this and looking at it and giving you guys predictions, but we can't do that properly today, unfortunately. So Rob 2K, he's also having a good run in his Mercedes. He's about 6.5 seconds off the back of these two, and they're getting nice and tight, these. The Mighty Road Racing is only just under 6/10 behind Smalley, but we'll give Reedy and Superkart Race some airtime in this pre-season shakedown. Again, it's nothing too serious, but you know for a fact, as I do, every single one of these guys are flat out. Yeah, there's no doubt about it, because people want to lay down markers for the new season. They want to show what they can do, and obviously they know I'm talking about them all, and they don't want to crash and die. As that wasn't a great run through there by Superkart Race. So Reedy's all over the back of him, 3.5 tenths. Can he get on the power early enough? Again, I can't bring you the views I would normally in terms of seeing all of their inputs, but we will get to it, no doubt. Right, where's Krazeez? Has he come out yet? So Krazeez has come out of the pits, and you know what's interesting with that, folks? Krazeez has come out in 13th, pit stop complete. Who's in 14th? MichaelRaces, pit stop complete. However, they've swapped over. Krazeez was 2nd. Obviously Michael had that issue with traction, so Krazeez has got a net gain out of the pit stop there. That's good strategy for him. 3.5 seconds over Michael. As you can see, Traction's dumped it in the pits now as well, so we must be around about halfway, I think. We're going to see quite a bit of pit lane action at the moment as these two continue their battle. That's wide from Superkart Ray. Just kept her on the track, but you can see that's given Reedy a good run. We're going to get a lunge. I don't think we are. No, I think he's trying to set him up, isn't he? Right, so Traction's in the pit. So Krazeez, there you go, there's Krazeez, there's Michael. King of the Hills is currently in 15th still, so let's go back up there, because it's only 2/10 whilst I just talk through where everyone else is. King of the Hills is miles behind at the moment, says 83 seconds, so not sure what's happened there. Iceman UK is 11 seconds behind him in 16th, so that's a great effort from him. Fearless Freak 17th, hasn't pitted yet, although Traction and Traction as King of the Hills has just gone into the pits himself. Howler has pitted, he's currently in 18th place, and then Cascanova has pitted, he's in 19th. Lamaro has pitted, 20th. Kino has pitted. We saw him have a little love tap with the Armco fence in there. Hopefully he didn't get too much damage from that, because if he has, that's, again, it's not helping his race at the moment. Pony Feeder's coming to the pits from 5th. We'll keep an eye on where he comes out. SJ Disco, we saw, had some issues with that Merc. She got a bit out of shape, probably a tyre issue. He's pitted. Lamaro has also pitted in his Merc. And then you've got your Volton in 23rd place. Just keeping an eye on the grid is our Chris. He's just making sure everybody plays by the rules. He told me he was going to win this race today, and I said to him, listen, as the other co-taco admin, myself and Chris, I was like, you can't go win the race. It will dishearten everyone. So we agreed he was going to stay closer to the back, keep an eye on everyone. And Zuba there is currently in last place, 3 laps down. Again, doesn't matter, buddy. If you're watching the stream, keep going. Just keep trying to tidy up those laps. That's all you need to do. So, pit stops are shaking out. Freeman, 82, is now top of the pile. Half a second ahead of GTJ. You can see that. He's being held up. So, who is that in the Bentley there? 106. Yep, okay, so it's Iceman UK. He dumps it into the pits. Probably a wise move. I mean, that could have been a bit hairy. And GTJ, so GTJ is going for the undercut on Freeman. So GTJ comes in from 2nd place. There's my Ferrari there, guys, again. Beautiful. Do you like the livery? I think it's a lovely livery. Oh no, Claire saying she can't watch. And Kino's responding whilst driving. That's probably a bad idea and illegal. Absolute joke. Well, let us know what's going on, mate. What trouble is he having? Smalley now finds himself up in 3rd place because of what's happening with the pit stops, and he's all over the back of Mighty Road Racing again as they come onto my Cooper's straight. So this is a good battle going on here for the podium. This is very important because everybody hasn't pitted yet in this little group here. They don't want to be losing time. GTJ's in the pits, he's getting his stop done. Yeah, Lordy's in the pits, he's getting his stop done. So GTJ's just coming out. So you've got to look, if you haven't watched this before, on the left hand side where the names are, where you've got like that sort of orangey golden one, that means they have still got to do their mandatory stop. If we've got a block of green next to it, like I'm looking at on Krazeez, that means he's completed his stop. And we've had someone go off there. So what the interesting thing I'm trying to get across to you is, who is the top person so far in green? Krazeez. Michael has brought that gap down from 3.4 seconds to 2.7, but if all these pit stops shake out, yeah, as you would expect them to, Krazeez is going to be leading this race. Michael would be 2nd. GTJ, so GTJ and Pony Feeder, they were in those positions before the pit stops. Traction Dave's lost out on that one massively at the moment. I think I did just see him have a little off. So Traction finds himself mid-pack, I would say, at the moment. We'll have to see where Freeman comes out, because he could upset the apple cart actually with this. So Smalley, enjoy it. Marty Road Racing, enjoy it. You are leading the race. Your Volton's in front, so I'm sure he'll duck it out of the way. He's getting flagged. So Marty, yeah, enjoy this. You are leading Taco Tuesday PS5. You're leading this race, my friend. There's 24 people behind you. Smalley, you're in 2nd place. Great run so far. Bruges has managed to get back up there, so he's getting towards the back of these guys again. Reedy in his Porsche is having a good run. Yeah, Reedy's having a very solid race. And then we've got Superkart Ray in his Ferrari. So they've obviously swapped positions. If you remember, it was Reedy chasing down Superkart Ray. We were looking at that a couple of laps ago. So there you guys. Rob 2K is in the pits at the moment. That leaves Fearless Freak to pit and your top 5. So we will see where they all come out. And there you go, see. So Krazeez is net 1st place. Michael has been demoted to 2nd, although you could say, I mean, obviously starting pole, evidently had an issue, or Dave managed to clean pass on him. We didn't see that, so he was in 2nd place, then ended up pitting. So 2nd place is where he was when he pitted, so he hasn't lost out in that respect, as Reedy peels off into the pits there. Smalley's in the pits, Bruges is in the pits as well. So Marty's got to go long. He's going to enjoy this for as long as possible, don't blame you. Freeman's done his pit stop, we were just talking about him, so he's come out just behind Michael and still got that 2.5 second cushion to GTJ, who is currently in 9th place. Obviously isn't 9th, pony feeder. So I'd actually say the real winner out of these pit stops so far, yeah, well obviously we don't know how they're going to shake out, but just looking at it from there, is Hutch, I would say. Looks like Hutch has done a good strategy there. Traction finds us out behind Hutch, so he's had a bit of a mare. Don't know if there was an issue with the pit stop or something that happened when he came out. I'm sure he'll let us know after the race. Rob, I'm going to let these couple of pit stops sort themselves out before we do anything else. Let's have a look down the grid for any more really close action. So Zuba is still plugging away. You keep going, mate. You know, I think it's fantastic what you're doing. You've joined, I think you might have joined today or yesterday, you've jumped into a PS5 race with a lot of guys who, you know, we do race together a lot, and everybody, you know, is at a fairly good standard. So hats off to you, mate. You're doing a great job. Just keep doing those blue flags properly. Then we've got your Volton coming up to Druids in his Porsche. Fearless Freak. Stay on with Fearless Freak. It looks like he's about to get involved in a nice little battle. Is that Reedy in front of him? Yeah. I've got to say the difference, the difference in audio between the M6 and the M4. You know, I like the M6. I like the, you know, I'm not going to say what I think because you'll all just laugh at me, and that's totally fine, each to their own. But I like the sound on the M6, and this one just sounds the opposite. I still like the sound of it, but that kind of wastegate sound is totally different. So yeah, we've got 6 watching at the moment. 5 of those are me on all my devices and someone else. No, I'm joking. So look, thanks for being with us. Obviously we've had loads of issues tonight with the stream at the start. I think the 4th time round we actually got some audio on, so we missed all the good interesting stuff. My interview with Lewis Hamilton, yeah, all those bits that we did earlier on that you guys couldn't hear, unfortunately, and he'll vouch for me because we've got the same birthday, why wouldn't he? Yeah, so all that happened earlier on. We've got a 25-man race at the moment, which is fantastic. The first time all these guys have raced together. Got all different levels in here, and Superkart Ray now ends up in the lead of the race because of the pit stop. So go Superkart Ray, 1-1 Ferrari. He's going to be well happy with that. You boys can celebrate as he ducks it in the pit. So we said let's have a look at how this all shakes out. Who was top of that list? This guy, Krazeez, ever present, always good on a pit stop. He's currently leading Michael. That gap's been very static actually. Sort of, it was 3.4 when they came out and finished their stops. It went down to about 2.6, now we're 2.7, so those two very similarly paced at the moment. So maybe it's just taken a while for Krazeez to get to understand that Beamer, and obviously Michael's in a new car tonight as well, and a new rig, so he's getting used to everything. He's probably got bumps, pains, lumps in places he hasn't had before because he's in a new rig. Freeman's doing a fantastic job in that Merc in 3rd place, so he's currently sat on the podium. Then we've got GTJ and Pony Feeder. I just want to say, like, you've got to look at the names, and we understand where people are, but the consistency of all these guys to keep where they are. Yeah, I'm plugging through the same names, the same sort of gaps. Everybody is running absolutely flat out and dealing with whatever bugs or issues they've got, you know, race management, tyres, fuel, those sort of things. But they're all doing it the same. It's consistent. I did say the winner out of those stops, and the guy on a mission at the moment, is this man. Although Hutch has got to get by, that looks like Lamaro in front and SJ Disco. Let me just check if my liveries are correct in my head. It is indeed. So, wow, these two might become mates for the whole season. Or they might end up being drawn as teammates. Who knows? So, well, they won't actually, because I know some things that are going on. So I did say I thought the big winner out of those pit stops was Hutch, and he is. Hutch is up to 6th place at the moment. He's been sort of around 8th, 9th for most of this race, so he's deployed a good strategy there. So well done, Hutch. You are out of position though, mate. You need to be 7th. As was that Bruges you just came flying through there? No, it wasn't Bruges. I need to. Oh no, it was Hutch. Okay. So these boys moved out of the way, it looked like. So Evolve and Fearless Freak, SJ Disco. Oh, look at these guys, having a great time. And then we've got Howler just up the road in his Beamer. He's in 18th again. I think he's his debut race, so fantastic. Great effort from you at the moment. Cascanova, I mean, come on. Down Cooper straight, that's just rude. Iceman Sean in 16th place in the Beamer. Great effort from you so far. And I really must, next time, change where the camera is, I think. Because obviously I can't see what the time's left on the race, which is a bit of a schoolboy error. But I'm sure they'll tell us when it's done. Supercart Ray, obviously he enjoyed that spell in first place before the pit stop. He finds himself now in 14th in the 58 Ferrari. Lordy's in 13th. He's doing pretty well in that Beamer. Rob 2K had a quiet race, very steady race though. He has moved up through the grid, so he's doing really well. And then we've got Reedy. He's getting acquainted with that Porsche quite nicely. I was going to say, just as I say that, he's probably going to bin it, but he doesn't. Holds on to it through Hawthorns. And Dingle down. Oh, let's see what she's like through Sheen. Okay, how committed. Pretty steady through there, gotta say. If I'm not hanging on for dear life through that corner, I think there's something going wrong. Or that's probably why I don't win any championships, but there we go. So Krazeez, look at the gap. Look at that gap. It was 2.7 if you remember when we looked at it maybe a lap and a half ago. It's now 4.4. So I'm feeling that Krazeez is definitely starting to enjoy that Beamer a little bit more. And Michael, obviously he did a very early pit stop, and if you look at the track temps, yeah, it's still an optimal track, which is great. Ambient's gone down a degree, it's now 28, and the actual track temp has gone down a degree or two to 35, so that may have interfered with tyre pressures. It may be that he's just been running too hard. Brands is quite punishing on tyres, as we know, so his tyres might be on the way. Who knows? Uncharacteristic to see him making more than one mistake, and we've only seen one, so terrible driving, Michael. Freeman 82, great drive, still currently third. GTJ Pony Feeder, Hochi's still there in 6th, 7.3. I want to keep an eye on the gap between him and Pony Feeder. Smalley is then in 7th place. Got some company there, we saw that in the rearview mirror. Bentley versus the Merc. I like that Smalley's tried to do the FRL colours on his Bentley. That shows some commitment already. Who's that turned around? There's a Beamer there. So I don't know who it was. I don't want to come off this battle though. Traction is currently in 9th. He's 9 seconds off the pace. What's happened, Traction? Talk to me. Bruges is in 10th, so he was, I don't think he's going to be happy with 10th because he was high up the grid, but he is still in the top 10. Got to remember, this isn't a 20-man race. You know, this is a 25-man race. Obviously one didn't appear, but when we actually get down to it, it's going to be 30. So top 10 is not bad. Did somebody just do that? 1 second. We're good. Okay, let's get back to the action. So, yeah, we're watching Marty Road Race at the moment. Let's go on board with Smalley. Let's give him some airtime. And Hutch, you're next, Hutch. We'll give you some airtime. Although, I guarantee you won't thank me for it because you know what's going to end up happening. So, Reedy's still 11th. Rob's still 12th. Lordy's still 13th. So, again, the gaps are all pretty consistent at the moment. Keno's managed to get himself up to 15th. Okay. So he is moving through the grid slowly but surely, so that's good work from him. Remember, he started from the pit lane. Right, let's go on the back with Marty and see what type of pressure he can put Smalley under. So Keno's 15th, Iceman UK is 16th. He's held that position there or thereabouts, 16th to 18th for the entire race. So that's a fantastic drive. It's being consistent there. He's not losing loads of ground, he's not gaining loads of ground. And these two, sorry, oh, what is it with that? Okay. Well, it did say that Cascanova was 24, you can see it right there, 24 thousandths behind Lamaro. Well, he's not though, is it? Because Lamaro, it's Lamaro that's actually all over the back of Cascanova, so there may have been a move done slightly earlier on, and now we're seeing the comeback from Lamaro 83. He's very good friends and a teammate with another, oh, he's just stuck out the inside there. 77, that's Traction Day. Okay, so Traction's coming through the field, desperate to try and get a bit higher up, but it's the thing, when we've got more cars on track, got more people to deal with. Brands isn't a huge track, it's not massively wide, so you've got to be patient there, and Traction probably doesn't want to be patient, but look at that driving, Cascanova, that's what it's all about within FRL. Yeah, he'd seen he was behind him, he'd been blue flagged for a couple of corners, and he did the gentlemanly thing and just eased out the way, so he's not holding Traction up. It's the type of racing you can always expect here. As Lamaro gets really close, that wasn't a great, he's going to, that was close. Again, great driving, good situational awareness from both as they come down towards Pilgrim's Drop. So Lamaro's gone on the outside, so that's obviously putting Cascanova offline at the moment. He's obviously not going to get round him on the outside. I think he's probably hoping he may panic a little bit and try and overcook it. That would be what you want, and there you go, that's exactly what's happened, and that allows Lamaro just to take that momentum through into Sheen. So that's a lucky Cascanova, and that's exactly what he was setting him up for then. So good driving, good tactical driving there, well done Lamaro. King of the Hills 19th in his Beamer, and his 888 Beamer, wow. I bet he's happy. No, okay. Let's go Hutch. Yeah, Hutch is doing really well, Georgie, really well. SJ Disco, okay, he is still plugging away, down to 20th now. Don't know if he's got a tyre issue there, because he was obviously much higher up the grid. Kino's plugging away, trying to catch Superkart Ray. Battle of the Ferraris. That could play out a lot more this season, if they all get the car that they want. Yeah. So SJ Disco coming up to Druids. You got your Volton in front of him there. Your Volton's indicating to somebody. Howler 21st in his Beamer, and then we've got Fearless Freak in the 420 Beamer. I just wanted to pause for a moment then, because as he was coming around Druids, the car, I mean, I know it's a slowish corner, but the car seemed to go really slowly, and I didn't know if he'd run out of fuel or not there, to be fair. Volton in 23rd. Remember we said we had a deal with Volton today. He was going to win this race. I mean, Krazeez was begging him to ease up today, so Chris, being the gentleman that he is, and FRL admin for tacos, he's deciding to keep an eye on everyone, make sure everybody races cleanly. King of the Hills picks himself up a drive-through, so that's going to be track limits through Sheen Curve. By the look of that, that's unfortunate. Will he dump it in straight away and get it out of the way, or not? Let's have a quick look and then we'll move off. He is, that's the sensible thing, get that penalty out of the way. Superkart Ray, he's not far behind here, is he? So we've got a nice fight developing here. We have got Rob, as your Volton gets out of the way, that's wise. We've got Rob 2K in the 75 Merc as we come up to the last corner on towards the Brabham Straight. Lordy in his 111 Beamer is all over the back of him, and then not far back from them you've got Superkart Ray. He's under a second, but obviously you can see how close those two are in front, especially going into Paddock Hill Bend. These corners, the cars could get so unbalanced. He's just waiting to pounce as they go up into Druids. Hard on the brakes, get the car turned in. You want to be trailing all the way in there, slowly ease on the power, and then push the car across to the right hand side as you come down to Graham Hill Bend, down to second, tuck her in, get on the power for Cooper's Straight. This is a good battle. And then behind them, Kino's behind them. Kino's in clear air at the moment, so these guys are all going to be holding each other up. So it could give Kino an opportunity to get back up to this little pack, which I'm sure he would be happy to do. I'm sure he would. I'm going to go up 1. So we can see in the mirror, we can see Superkart Ray in his Ferrari all over the back of him. And that is as good as I can get you guys with these camera angles today. Remember, I said unfortunately there's a bug at the moment in terms of spectating. It's not just me, but others test it within FRL, and it's the same for everyone. So I am trying to bring you the action as much as I can. Hopefully you all appreciate that. If you do, please press like. It takes half a second. Just do it. Be great. Get more people watching FRL, more people to come and join us, more tiers, more patrons, more money coming in potentially, which will give more servers. You know, we are branching out into the States, so that was a good move to get out of the way there. We've got a brand new server being set up. I think it's a Los Angeles server actually. Georgie Priest and We the Kevin are running that as our resident American heroes, and they're starting to invite people in over there for the start of Thursday TNT, Thursday Night Thunder. So check that series out if you want to race at 3-4 o'clock in the morning over here. Why not? Why not indeed? I don't know your timetables, but yeah, so again, it's more expansion, but we can only do that because of you guys. So we do appreciate that, and the way that we expand is through streams like this. If people are liking and subscribing, it helps. As I said before, there is a facility where we can do very small donations into the channel, which all will end up going back into help fund more servers. So if anyone's interested in that, buymeacoffee.com/comms by Coops. Don't have to, can if you want. Every penny counts. Yeah, so off the sales pitch. Vote Cooper, President. So Krazeez is still out up front. Let's have a look at him. He's still out up top. He's built that gap out now from 4.4 to 5.186. So he's looking pretty secure. The track has dipped another degree down to 34. So that will start to affect these guys, I think. It will start making a difference, especially if they've been really hard on their tyres already. Freeman's still in 3rd place. He's doing a fantastic job, still holding on to that podium place. And again, GTJ, Pony Feeder, Hutch. Well, I don't even need to tell you where these guys are because we know. It's just consistently good work. Although GTJ, we may have had a mistake out of Freeman there. GTJ is now only 4 tenths behind him. This is for the podium, so I mean, if these guys are going at it full power, which I'm sure they are already, you can guarantee they're working hard now. 3 tenths. I think we'll stay on this one. I want to just have a quick look down. There's 2 tenths between Superkart Ray and Rob 2K. Yeah, okay, let's have a look at that as well. We'll stay up there in case we need to change back. So these guys have been having a really good battle, haven't they? Bruges has managed to push away, as has Lordy. So these two have got embroiled in their own little scrap. They've lost touch with the car in front. Kino. Okay, there's Kino. Okay, they're still quite far down the road. So Kino doesn't look like he's making too many inroads there. As Rob goes wide, that's going to give Superkart Ray the inside line. That's what they're battling over. Don't kiss. They don't, thankfully. Look at that, all over each other. He's making a lunge. That's not going to work. As, oh my word, tank slapper, did you see that? Well, of course you did, you're watching with me. So Rob 2K gets hard on the brakes into Druid. Superkart Ray, he's got the inside line there, he doesn't want to give that up. You can see Rob's all over the back of him. And where's Kino? Kino can catch these boys up, I'm telling you, because they are fighting hard, which is great. And this is just a pre-season friendly. Well, you don't really get friendlies in sport, do you? But you catch my drift, guys, you catch my drift. That's a good fight. These boys are entertaining me, which is what I like, and they're still at it. I just wish I could change my camera angles so that we could give you guys some really cool views and show you how they're all setting up. Who is behind him? We've got someone right... So he's getting blue flagged. He's just got tapped. So there's a Ferrari behind. Is that one Ferrari, or is that going to be Traction Dave? It's not Traction. It's Michael. So Michael was coming up to the back of these two, and obviously Rob had to get out of the way. That's fair enough. Where's Keno? So I'm telling you, Keno's catching them up. He looks like he's catching them up. So we'll go back on board. So Rob 2K, obviously he's lost some ground now because he's had to make that concession to let Michael through. That's fair enough. However, Superkart Ray, just keep it together, Rob. Superkart Ray is going to have to do the same thing. Now, if I was Superkart Ray, I'd be doing it there. And I just hope Superkart Ray realises that's Michael behind him and he's being blue flagged and he's not trying to race him for position, because he's not, you know. Let's make sure we know who we're fighting and why. So Michael's got through there. Okay, fine. So let's see if these two can come back together again. Krazeez still leads. Michael in second. Freeman still in third. GTJ still fourth. Ponyfield is still fifth. Hutch. There, here we go. I promised it. Promised you, Hutch. Let's get on board with Hutch. Last year he was my Mr. Number 7 for GT3 Sundays before we did the short British GT3 sprint season. Let's see if this year he can be Mr. 6. Who knows? Don't oversteer like that and lose it though, Hutch. Marty Road Racing is currently still 7th. He's 1.2 behind. Smalley's 8th. Again, I know he was running up 6th, around about 6th place earlier on, and did that for a good few laps, but 8th is still really good in this grid. You've got Traction who's 7.5 seconds behind you, so that's some good pace, and Bruges. So I think Smalley is definitely going to be in the mix this year, which is nice to see. Let's watch Hutch's steering inputs. Oh yeah, Hutch got himself a shiny new toy, didn't he, a couple of weeks ago? That's why he's in 6th place. He's got himself a steering wheel called Vanitech, which he's got a go faster button on, and he presses it and the car auto drives. That's pretty much what he's done, so well done. Good investment, Hutch. Right, Marty Road Racing, he's not far behind though, is he? Only 8 tenths. He's brought that gap down, I think, by about 5 tenths, I think, in that last lap. So that looks like it's going to develop, and they're all catch, so 5th, 6th and 7th. Well, they're all in shot right now. They're all quite equally gapped. They all Hutch, as always happens, Hutch takes a bit too much curve, and then Marty says, I'll do the same. Someone had gone off there, has just jumped in the pits. So Zuba's in the pits, Kaskanova's in the pits, Reedy's there. I think it was probably, no, it wasn't a Porsche. Fearless Freak's in the pits, and Rob in the Merc. It might have been Rob then, that's just ported to the pits. So actually, that's right, Graham, I'm blaming you for this. I am blaming Graham. Right, Graham was one of our other drivers. Him and Michael had an epic battle last season in both the British GT3 Sundays and in Tacos, and I mean epic fighting between these two. And if you weren't watching the stream earlier on, he came on and made a comment about how long is it going to take for Traction to throw it away, because Traction was leading the race. And then he says, oh, I've just been to take the dog out and I've come back and, oh, Traction. Well, I think Traction didn't have a great pit stop, and maybe not a great outlap thereafter, Graham, and that put him down the grid. So SJ Disco, you can see there, it's getting out of everybody's way. Is it me, or does it look like his rear window's been put through? No, and it hasn't. Well, it nearly did. So Mighty Road Racing didn't read that properly and ended up punting him off. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's a ticket coming after that. And Smalley's still keeping the pressure on, so he hasn't finished yet either. Hutch wants 5th, doesn't he? He's putting the pressure on Ponyfeeder at the moment. Keno's got himself up to 12th. I did tell you he was going to catch up with some people, and he has caught up with some people. So Keno, I'm not going to sit and watch this. Yeah. However, keep it tidy. I was actually saying earlier on, wasn't I, about everyone being nice and you know, a good atmosphere within FRL. And this guy I can attest to. I actually met him a couple of weeks ago at a service station. No, it wasn't that kind of deal. Spent about an hour with him, just chatting about FRL, and honest to God, What a great guy, funny guy, absolutely loves what we're doing here, fully committed to getting involved, you know, and yeah, can't rate him highly enough, really. So you get in the top 10, buddy, I'll be happy with that. Superkart Ray is in 13th. Iceman Sean, he's having a great debut for us in 14th. You can't deny that. Just joined this afternoon, jumped straight in, doesn't know anybody, doesn't know how anybody drives, and yeah, he jumped straight in, so well done to you. Lamaro's in 15th at the moment. SJ Disco, we've had a good look at him this evening in that rather bright Merc. He's currently 16th. King of the Hill 17th, and then we've got Howler comes into the pits in his Beamer. Is he pulling over? Let's see what he does. Look, there's my Ferrari. Hello. So we've got quite a few that look like they're maybe pulled out at the moment. So Howler comes into the pits. So Rob's still sat in the pits. Fearless Freak sat in the pits. Volton's still out there. He's never going to go in the pits, although he maybe should break a bit earlier. Reedy's in the pits. Caskanova's in the pits. I'm not surprised. I mean, he's been trying to see like that for the entire race. How can you see like that? It's impossible. And Zuba, he's come into the pits. That's my Ferrari. I keep saying it. This is what I'm saying. This is the bug. My car's in there. Oh dear. Maybe I should press drive. Just give you guys a good last 5 minutes. Yeah, so Zuba, again, he's one of our debutants this evening. Do you know what? I know he's in the pits at the moment. Zuba, if you're watching the stream, mate, well done. Okay, you did great. You did fantastically well. You really put that effort in there. Just keep on it. You know, you'll be surprised. Who's reversing? That's got to be Reedy or Rob. That's Rob. Rob's going back out. Okay, maybe Rob's watching the stream. Maybe he's trying to make a point. Rob's coming back out. So that's the guys that are in the pits at the moment. So Krazeez is still up top. Michael is still second, 6 seconds behind. Then we've got Freeman, but this battle is still ongoing. It's been around 3-4 tenths for a few laps now. Remember, this is for the podium. So these two, they want that, don't they? I know it's only pre-season. I said before, this is all about psychology, putting markers down, getting everyone excited. You know, ooh, what if I get Freeman in the driver draw? What if I get a GTJ? And you know, this is all part of what's going to build up to tomorrow evening. Hutch has got 5th place. Okay, maybe Hutch is on it. Maybe he's on it for this taco season. Great effort, mate. I think you were down in 14th or something earlier on in the race. You got yourself, that's an absolutely fantastic effort there in the 22 Bentley. I'd doff my cap to you, sir. Well done. What about you, Mike? Yeah, he's doing alright. I get it. Ponyfeeder drops back to 6th then, so that'll probably make Keno a little bit happier that his teammate isn't so far ahead of him anymore. Mighty Road Racing's holding 7th, but you can see he's catching up. But then look, Pony's still all over the back of Hutch, so anything can happen with these guys. I'm not going to totally go away from that. Just keep an eye on the timings. Traction is Smalley, can't forget that guy. Smalley's currently still in 8th place in his first outing with us. Traction's in 9th. Obviously he was leading the race, did qualify 2nd, and then I think had a special moment in the pit stop. Something happened there. He will tell us after the race, and then we can let you guys know. But he finds himself down in 9th, unfortunately. Bruges is in the top 10, consistently been around 8th to 10th. Lordy in 11th. He's had a very, very good consistent drive in that Beamer, I've got to say. Been impressed with him. Keno's fought his way up to 12th as these guys start to gap a little bit more. Yeah, Pony's dropping off a little bit from Hutch now. So Keno, how far are you behind? Okay, you're quite far. He's on the Cooper straight. You're coming down the Brabham straight. Okay, so straight away you can all see that, can't you? Right, Lamaro is chipping away. He was 15th, he's up to 13th from the last couple of laps, so that's an improvement for him, so that's all good. Iceman UK again, debutant 14th. SJ Disco, he's had an eventful race this evening, not in a bad way, in a great way. He's been involved in some really great battles. He's 15th. King of the Hills, we saw a big snap of oversteer there in the 888 Beamer, in 16th place. I bet he didn't think he'd be there tonight. Anyway, Supercar Race 17th. Now he's got to be disappointed with that. We've got some action going on there. SJ Disco looks like he's off the grass, but who's that in front of him? That looks like Freeman. So he's had an issue. GTJ, oh my word. So this is getting a bit tasty now. There's a few guys all coming up towards... What did he just say? I don't know what he said. Coming up towards back markers. Is that last lap? We'll soon find out. Maybe. Oh no, he's finished. See, I didn't know what the time was at the top. So, you know what? So, Krazeez, congratulations. He comes across the line in first place. MichaelRaces second. Freeman, there's your podium for the first outing on the PS5 with 30-man grids. So, well done, boys. At least we got to see it. GTJ finished fourth. Hutch is coming across the line to finish fifth. Great run from you, Hutch. And then Pony Feeder's coming across the line sixth. Marty Road Races not far off the back of Pony Feeder. Smalley, what a fantastic run from you, mate. You're going to bring it home in 8th place. Well done to you. Traction, consistent, mate. Consistently unlucky, I would say. You came across 9th. Bruges 10th. Lordy has finished 11th. Keno finished 12th. You know what, Keno? You started from the pits, mate. That's a bloody good effort, okay? That's a good effort. Lamaro and... Where's Lamaro? Lamaro's run out of fuel. Oh, Lamaro! Come on, you can't risk it, man. Lamaro's going to run out of fuel. He might not finish the race. So, Iceman UK, he's going to come across the line in 13th, I would suggest. SJ Disco's finished. King of the Hills finished. Supercar Ray's finished. Howler finished in 18th. Then we've got Rob. Rob's got to come across the line and has done. Rob finishes 19th. Volton finishes... Well, I think people are probably leaving the server. Volton 19th. Phyllis Freak 20th. Reedy finished 21st. Cascanova had a couple of issues in that Nissan, but you know, other than that, quite a good race. Finished 22nd. And Zuba, one of our other brand new drivers, I think you can tell he's quite a new driver, but mate, you're going to learn a hell of a lot over here with us, and you will get quicker. You were nice and consistent, and you put in some good laps, so well done to you. Finally, just want to say, look at that beautiful Ferrari you can see in the picture there. Guess what, everyone? That's my car, which is good. Let's have a look in the chat just before we start to wrap things up. Oh man, okay, poor Dave. Yeah, I know, Dave does deserve a great result. I do agree, Graham. He will get it one day as Volton drives through my car. Zuba, first time round hatch, that was rough. I didn't mess too many people's laps up. No, Zuba, you know what, mate, as I said, you did well, mate. First time round brands, first time with these guys. So you should be happy with that, mate. Okay. So there you go, guys. Top 3. Congratulations again to Krazeez, Michael and Freeman. Hutch, you're going to be up there for my driver of the day, buddy. That was pretty good. And Keno for battling back from the pit lane to finish 12th. That's not correct what you can see there. So well done, you two. And there we go. That's our first one. Obviously, we had an absolute nightmare trying to get this started in terms of audio and not having any. 4 attempts to get this going. We did eventually. We still got the bug in the game with regards to how we're looking at things. But you know what? You still got your hours racing. You still got all the battles. And I don't think we could have done it any better than that. So thank you to all that took part. There's 25 available today of the 30. Next week when it kicks off proper, it will be 30 out of 30. Please get involved. Have a look at the streams. Like what you see. That's all I ask for. And yeah, we'll go from there. So tomorrow evening is the big one. Don't miss tomorrow. The FRL cast on the FRL YouTube channel. Myself, Gamer Dad, James is going to be with us. Our very own Volton, Chris, Dal should be with us as well. I hope Dal is with us. I know he's not feeling that great, so get well, buddy. Make sure you're with us tomorrow. We'll do the driver draw for all the different series that we've got starting in earnest next week. All right, and yeah, don't forget Endurance Fridays. That's coming next. So for now, ladies and gentlemen, I will catch you all tomorrow evening. Comms by Coops out.